Hello everyone and welcome to another video in the Learn How to Read Chinese with the Manga video series. If you'd like to know more about this series, go ahead and watch the first video. In this video, I'm just going to go ahead and just go ahead and read and translate and explain the sentences that you can see on the screen. One little quick note, I originally pre-recorded 5 videos, but a lot of people said that the characters were too small on the screen, and I agree because this was the original size of what I was working with, and the characters were a little bit too small to see, so I decided to, from video 4th and onwards, start not use the pre-recorded ones, but record the videos anew. All right, so without further ado, let's go and read the sentences again. Chinese books and manga very often read from top to bottom and from right to left, so we start over here. We'll first read in Chinese, translate into English, and then analyze and explain. 那你知道搞丢在什么地方吗？那你知道搞丢在什么地方吗？ So, do you know where you lost it? It meaning the notebook, the death note. 那 means that. But in this case, if it's starting out a sentence, and it's a very, very frequent thing to say, it just means the same thing as English so. Like when you say, so what are you going to do? What are you about to do? So this, so that. When you want to say that in Chinese, it's na, but it means that. So, na, so. 你 is you. 知道 means to know, and the etymology of this, and I'm not completely sure, this is just how I interpreted it. 知 means to know, it used to be a verb in classical Chinese as well, and 道 in classical Chinese, and even now actually, it means a road or a way, or more specifically, originally it used to mean the way, the Taoist principle of the way. So to know the way is basically what, if you deconstruct this word, means, but today it just means to know. So again, 那你知道 so you know. 搞丢 搞 means to do, and 丢 means to lose. And in previous videos I told you that if you put this 搞 in front of some specific verbs, it is kind of intensifying the mischievous or negative outcome of the verb. So I don't like these grammatical definitions, these technical definitions. I usually like to find a very good translation that is fitting, so that I can just have a very, very fast association with what the word actually means. I usually, in this particular case, I understand it as 搞丢, which just means I've done and lost it, like I gone and lost it, something like that. 在 is a verb which means to be at or to be in. In many places, we can just understand it as the preposition in or at. In this case, it's going to be probably in or at, one of these two. 什么 is what. 地方 means place. And 嘛 is the question particle. One of the question particles that you can have which is turning the sentence into a question. So, 那你知道搞丢在什么地方吗? So you know, done lost at what place? 吗? These 3 characters again represent a sound, and they are read. One of them is read hey, because so basically 3 of them together is just hey hey hey, and it's just hey hey hey, the laughing sound. And a very quick sort of technical note on the characters themselves. They are composed of 2 parts. The left part, which is a character or radical, you can say actually in this case, for mouth, and it gives you the meaning of the character. And the right part of the character is a standalone character, which means black, but doesn't really have to do anything with the meaning of the character black and the laughter hey. But the way you read this character when it's a standalone character is hey. So put both of them together and you have a character that you read as hey, and it is the sound hey in laughter, or just a sound hey if you want to have one, but usually in this kind of mischievous laughter. So hey hey hey, that's it. And he says 人间界, world of humans. 人 person, 间 space, and 界 world. So a world of the human space, or something like that. I would just by looking at it now, I would translate it like that. A this is another character that is one of those sound representing characters. Again, if you notice, so basically, if you want to say a very, very, very frequent thing to say, like in Taiwan, I don't know how about in mainland China, but in Taiwan, Taiwanese people start maybe every third or fourth sentence by saying a, and then they just ask maybe what they want to say, or when they're surprised they say that. And just notice that this character over here is a sound character, and this character over here, these three are also sound characters, and they have a very similar structure. They have the mouth radical, which is giving you the meaning on the left side, and then they have the sound component on the right side. This one I think is probably pronounced a or I or something like that, but together the character is pronounced a, and it just means a, this thing. All right, so this is this page. There's nothing more going on. He goes down the steps, then falls through the pit hole or whatever it is, and flies into the world of humans. So we continue on the next page. Again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. These characters are a little bit distorted. I'm sorry, I took the picture with my phone, so it doesn't look too good. So let me read first. 这本死神掉落在人间界的笔记本 and then the sentence continues over here. 让两个碰巧被选中的人开始了壮烈的战斗. Okay, so let me go up here again. So it says, this notebook that has been dropped into the world of, or in the world of humans by a death god, let two incidentally chosen people start a heroic battle. All right, let me go one by one. So 这 means this, and 这本 means this piece. I would say in this case, we can maybe use piece as a equivalent or equal measure word. 本 I mentioned earlier is a measure word, one of many measure words that we have in Chinese, and this one is used for books, notebooks, anything that looks like a notebook. We just don't usually translate it directly into English because you don't have to say, I want 2 pieces of books. But in Chinese, you have to say, I want 2 pieces of books, or I want this piece of book. You don't say piece, you just say 本. So if I were to say it really, really, really the best way I can in English, I would probably say this 本 book. I want this 本. I want that 本. I want 3 本. Okay, so that's the closest I can get. 死神 is death god. 神 is God, and 死 is death. 掉落 means to drop. 在 again, verb to be at or in, or just the preposition in at. 人间界 a world of people. 界 is world. 间 is space, and 人 is people. 的 is often, I mean, we had it before, but I'll just to recap, often translated as the apostrophe s. So if you have 爸爸的书, it means the father's book. But I think the best way to remember this is to remember this character as that it has the meaning of kind of a. So kind of a, and let me just continue. 笔记本 is a notebook. So 的笔记本 is kind of a notebook. And then so whatever is before the kind of a, this gives it the quality, describes the notebook. So if you say 白色的笔记本, which means white notebook, you say white kind of a notebook. It works, right? If you say even if you say 爸爸的笔记本, right? So father's notebook, you can kind of say father type of a notebook, right? It's like it's a notebook that has the quality that it belongs to a father. So doesn't, as you can see, this is a little bit kind of problematic, but still you can get to the meaning very well. So I would probably suggest that if you want to meet the requirement of translating this correctly in 95% of places, I think kind of this kind of translation of the will work. So now we have the 笔记本, so kind of a 笔记本, kind of a notebook. And so whatever is in front is basically describing it. So here you go. So 这一本死神掉落在人间界 kind of a 笔记本 the 笔记本 the notebook. And actually, really, this whole thing is describing the notebook. So this god of death dropped in the world of humans kind of a notebook. And then we continue. 让两个碰巧被选中的人开始了壮烈的战斗. So 让 means to let, like literally to let someone do something, but many people would argue that it's like a marker of passive and then whatever, but it means let. It really does mean to let someone do something, and you can do very well with this translation and even understand, I think, the sentence much better. So let, 两个means two, but again, to be very specific, only liǎng means two, because ge is again this measure word, so pieces we can say, but in English we just don't have to say it, we just say two, but in Chinese you have to always use, if you count or point, maybe in some other instances as well, you have to use a measure word. So let two pieces, but in English just let two. 碰巧means incidentally or by chance. 被 is a passive marker. So whatever verb is going to follow is going to have a passive ending in English. So 选 means to choose, and 被选 means to be chosen. So 碰巧被选 is incidentally chosen. Yeah, and 选中, this 中 is specifying the verb a little bit. 中 means middle, center, or to hit the target. So 选中, it just means to choose with, like, choose successfully. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense in English, but first of all, in Chinese it does. And again, very honestly, I don't like to think about these technical things, and I just remember that 选中, it means just to choose. I just remember it as one word. And 被选中, it means to be chosen. 的人, 人 is person, and here we have again the 的, which is kind of a, right, as I translated it before. So 让两个碰巧被选中的人 let two incidentally chosen kind of people. So in nicer English, let two people who were chosen by chance. 开始 means to start. To be very, very specific about etymology, 开 means to open, and 始 is to start. So a lot of Chinese words, I think verbs especially, but a lot of nouns too, are built up of two words of very, very close meaning. That's how it is. And I think 开means also to start, actually. Not only open, but also to start. Like 开关 is a on-off switch, right? That starts something. So 开始 open, start, but together means start. So 开始了 了 is I mentioned it many times that I really don't know how to explain this well. I either understand it as already, either as a switch that is turning off the verb, either as an indicator of change, but all of this is too technical for me, so I usually try to understand it as the most simple one, which is did. For some reason, did or already in some cases is helping me most to understand this switch. So if you say 说 or 说, it means I'm saying, and 我说了, it means I did say. But I mean, this is how I would best translate 我说了. So 开始了, I would best, because 开始, as I said, means start, to start. So 开始了, I would just say did start. This is the best way to translate this. Many grammatical, technical things that you can say about this, but for me to be as simple, as effective as possible, just say 开始了 means did start. 壮烈, heroic. 的, again, we have the same 的 as here and the same 的 as we had up on the page. Kind of a. So 壮烈, the means heroic kind of a, and 战斗 means fight. 战 means war, and 斗is like a originally it was like almost a fist fight. As you can see, these are two hands, if you look at the character, and they really, like the original characters or the earlier ones that you looked at, they really look like two hands. So in either case, 战斗 just means fight today. But if you want to decompose, 战 is war and 斗 is a fight. So 让两个碰巧被选中的人开始了壮烈的战斗. Let two incidentally or by chance chosen people start a heroic fight. And we continue. This is a page with not a lot of text on it. So Over here we have the main character, one of the main characters, sitting in a classroom looking out of the window, and this little section here is just kind of describing the scene. 夜神月17岁, which means Yagami Light, that's his name, 17岁, 17 years old. So the interesting thing about Japanese manga when translated into Chinese is that most names, or a lot of the names of these Japanese characters, are written in Chinese characters, which do have their readings and meanings in Chinese 90% of the time, or very, very often. So what the translators who are translating manga into Chinese do, whenever possible, they just preserve the characters and read them in Chinese, and it works. So in Japanese, you read this Yagami Light, and in Chinese, you just take the same characters and read them 夜神月, and they have a meaning in Chinese and in Japanese too. 夜 means night, 神 means God, so night god is his surname, and 月 is his first name, but 月 means moon in Chinese. So 夜神月, to be very like technical in translation, means night god moon. That's his name. 17岁, 17 means 17, and 岁 just age. So in Chinese, if you want to say like how old you are, you say 10岁, 17岁, 20岁. Not in speech, but when you write, this is how you do it. All right, so here's one more sentence. Oh, actually another character. So this character over here is read and it's again a character that sort of is therefore just for the sound, and in this case is this kind of a sound. So the right part of it is read which is giving you the sound of this character, and the left part again is a radical mouth, which is telling you, just indicating the meaning. It's telling you that it's the sound character basically. It has something to do with sound. And the last sentence on this page, 笔记本, and we had this already. It means notebook. 笔 is a pen or brush or whatever that looks like a pen that you use to write. 记 is to note. So brush notes, brush noting, and 本 is a notebook, basically something that looks like a notebook. So 笔记本 is, today we say in English notebook, but if you really want to look at what the characters mean, they mean brush, noting, or using pens to note, notebook, something like that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please leave them under the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.